I got some notes about in the Node 11.
Okay.
They say we got to demolish it and burn every copy.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good episode.
Any thoughts for the new episode of In the Node?
Hey everybody, welcome to In the Node number 12. Today we're going to be discussing how to monitor a microwave. I'm Grant Newkirk. I am an intern here at Nagios.
And my name is Christopher Allen, also an intern at Nagios.
Zachary Ross, also an intern at Nagios.
And today we're going to be discussing hypothetically how one could monitor just a plain old microwave. And it seems kind of silly at first, you got just a kitchen appliance who would do this, but I'm thinking hypothetically a bakery, if they wanted to monitor some kitchen appliances, they could hypothetically use XI. What do you guys think?
I'm gonna ask the dev here, because personally the only thing I'm gonna think about is how would you measure the electricity? You'd probably have to hook it up to an Arduino or something like that, and then measure the voltage.
Or is that something that goes in the wall outlet in between this and that?
Yeah, so you take the electrical current that comes out, you hook it up. You know what an Arduino is? It's like a small microcontroller board. Okay. It's the thing that we used for the plant. We had that whole entire monitoring the hydrogen level or whatever for the plant.
To water it.
Pretty
Same
much.
thing.
And then computerify that, if you will. And then, I don't know, monitor the voltage. See if it's on and off. Go from there, because these draw, I don't know how much power, but that'd be one way to do it. What do you think?
Yeah, that definitely would be a way. You could see when it's drying. I'd probably try and get a fancy microwave with a LCD display or something. That's got beefy enough hardware in there that we could definitely slap some type of monitoring agent on it, like NCPA or something, and see what it's doing. I mean, it has to have some, if it's hooked up to Wi-Fi, it's got to have some type of computer on there.
Some sort of outbound signal that you can measure in some degree.
Yeah, I mean, the Wi-Fi, the little Wi-Fi chipset is super small. I don't know if you, but to run the LCD display and stuff like that, they would probably have a Raspberry Pi type thing in there. Okay. And you could probably get it to monitor with an NCPA, see what's going on.
You think you could hijack the signal at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. It's more IT's thing, but yeah.
It's called an ESP8266. It's a small little development board. And yeah, like you were saying, if we had something that had an Android operating system, people would be making all these super over the top microwaves that don't need Twitter, microwave. But you could probably put Nagios on there. If it was an APK, we could sideload some kind of monitoring agent that uses an APK that intercepts that, and then we can just have the ability to monitor it. I don't know why the hell you need that though. Why do you need to monitor your microwave?
Well, what do you set the microwave on? All right, you defrost some meat and you step away.
It's on the timer.
Well, you
what if you want to? You have 3 store locations, and all they do is just microwave shit. And they come in and they're just hey, I need to use your microwave.
A lot of burger joints actually, they put you assemble a burger, you might pop it in there for 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. You got one of these microwaves, so. If you wanted to check if your restaurant's actually doing best practice, this is what we're supposed to do, mm-hmm. You could just, look at how many burgers did I sell and how many times does that microwave get hit.
So the why of it is just we got to make sure these microwaves are doing what we want them to.
I just thought of something that actually makes more sense. Monitoring TDP. These things are high wattage. They take a lot of power, right?
Yeah, 1,000.
So when you're microwaving a lot of different stuff over time, has a lot of electricity, you want to be able to see exactly how much TDP or thermal. I don't know what the acronym for that. I just remember thermodynamic power or something like that. But it's a measurement of how much wattage or kilowatts in German that a device would use. And then you would use that metric to cross-reference that to see how much electricity you could save down the line, right? And then also see how much food consistency, if you could save a couple seconds in the long run, right? So if you got something that needs a microwave for 10 seconds, then maybe like 9 seconds or something like that, and then you would just save a lot of money over time. I don't know if people are really that, like here in America, I don't know, people like in other countries they probably would find some way to do that, but here in America we're like, oh yeah, whatever, let that thing go on for however long it needs to be. But that would be like one super cool way to use like Nagios or something like that, monitor TDP down the line, see how long something is power drawing, and then make a calculation and see how much money you'd be saving down the line.
Right on. And that computer, you can put in the power outlet and then plug that into Arduino, was it called?
Yeah, you can make an Arduino that measures the voltage from the output.
I'm pretty sure these are always drawing power to some degree, like even just 10 watts, and they only get like 1,000 when it's working.
Right.
How would you monitor that with like XI? Would you take the outbound signal, write some sort of wizard or program to interpret?
That's you, man.
Yeah, you definitely do a plugin that's, probably set to like a passive check where like it just decides when to send out its information. So you could do kind of like a, like it's listening and then it decides to like do the thing, like an NCPA agent basically. And NCPA decides if you can set it so it decides when to send out its information. And so it could, send out information every time that it's activated. Just say I've been activated, and when it's off. So the whole time that's running, fairly easy to build. I mean, XI just accepts, it's just a string. So you can build it however you want in any language you want. And then, just send it, work with XI.
All right. Right on. So you set the threshold, and if it peaks past that, like if it's on, it'll send you an alert.
Yeah. I can send an alert off too.
That's pretty interesting. I mean, if you can just plug it into an Arduino, interpret the signal, set your threshold, you can get an email when your microwave is being used. It's the future.
It'd be kind of neat. Also, one thing is when I was living out in Germany, I had a server that was running like constantly, right? In Germany, you need to be on your ass when it comes to electricity. You need to know how much you're using. And a microwave would be like one definitive thing. The only thing that's different about America and Germany is Germany will have, it's like, how can I say this? It's like taxes when it comes to electricity. It's not always, you pay what they project that you're going to use and you pay that consistently. It's not on the dot your TDP for the month, right? You know how you guys pay electric and you're like,
they amortize it out every month.
They average it out and then that's what you pay. And when I was in Germany, I always had to make sure that my average, because you would have to pay the average and you would have to like negotiate with the electric company and be like, look, I'm actually using this. This is the amount that I'm actually using. I want to lower the cost down the line because it was expensive. So I don't know how they do it now, but I know like Xcel Energy here in Minnesota, they will like separate your cost usage. They'll be like oven this much, microwave this much, other electronics this much. I don't know how they do that. I'm not sure. Probably have something that's like, oh, we're watching how the current goes and the nature of the current, and maybe that's how they're able to separate it. But we'd be able to do something like that too with Nagios, I believe. So
we monitor like the main line like outside and just be like try to identify different signifiers.
Yeah, probably dirty power.
I can't believe there's actual practical uses to monitoring a microwave.
Believe it or not, yeah, actually, like I said, saving money down the line. These things draw a lot of power.
So if you have a business that's using a lot of kitchen appliances, you can actually min-max your power, get everything perfectly set.
I know a lot of people ain't gonna do that, right?
Well, no, but they can.
Yeah, right.
And that's
we're not
the
too
point.
concerned about electronics, right? We're not too concerned, at least here in America, at least from my understanding. We're just like, beep, okay, let it go. Let's see.
So if you had a bakery in Germany, it'd be a lot of use.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Because the other thing I was thinking about this episode was other kitchen appliances, stoves, and stuff that doesn't traditionally have a lot of electronics in them. Could you just rig up any sort of sensor and then send that signal out?
With this thing, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're programmable to whatever.
You can do more with than just wattage. Could you do like a temperature stuff?
Voltage, temperature, yes.
Oh,
all those
sweet.
sorts of things.
Dang.
I wouldn't want to put a sensor inside the microwave, of course, but you would probably, I don't know, measure the outside of it. I'm pretty sure there's a way. There's definitely a way in tech.
It's got a vent. I mean, you could probably measure the temperature of the van. Although if you're in a kitchen where everything's hot all the time,
right?
it's not
Doesn't
gonna-
matter. Right.
What about sound? Just measuring a specific hertz.
Easy.
So like 1,000 hertz. And
Easy.
Every time it bings, it hits that.
Absolutely.
That'd be good.
Absolutely. You could definitely do that.
My wife and I leave the oven on all the time. So, you know, that'd be nice if the oven was able to tell us that it's on,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I mean, you could theoretically rig something up to do that.
And I asked why you leave it.
Yeah.
Well, we take the pizza out and we cut it, and then we eat it. And then it's like, oh yeah, the oven's still on.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just
No,
user error.
that's just neglect at that point.
we didn't pay our gas bill, so it's electric oven. So we leave it open, heat the house with it.
Dude, doesn't that?
No.
Isn't that dangerous a little bit?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No, that's
It
a little
is
dangerous,
dangerous.
right? Like, don't go to his house and light a match.
Well, it's electric.
It's like, oh yeah. I wouldn't do it anyways. What? Okay, you heat the house. Maybe that's a little bit more effective. I don't know.
No, it's probably way effective, honestly. I mean, if your HVAC's kind of iffy, or if you have like a 50s house without central heating.
I've had tenants who just use a little radiator, electric plug-in radiator.
Yeah.
If they're on like the second floor, it's a smaller unit, and they'd never plug in the gas to the. So like they just never have the furnace running for like a year. In Minnesota. I don't really understand it, but
Wouldn't a heater draw a lot of power, though?
yeah, it's not as efficient. Like, I mean, money wise, you know, you're
Here's what you do: you build a home lab server, you self-host, sell that as a service. Use that server to heat your house.
that's a good idea.
That's smart.
Balance it out.
That's great.
Charge as much as the heating cost for whatever the server or website it is, and then just pay for that, and then you just level it out. Free heating.
That's perfect.
The,
It scales.
It kind of does, yeah.
If you have multiple servers,
Right.
you just put one in each corner of the house, and
Yeah.
they all meet in
Yeah.
the middle.
Yeah, that's how I turn my heater on, and my server heats up the house. Dang. Well, I live in a studio apartment, so it's not much to heat in there. So
is your server loud?
no, actually, it's pretty quiet.
We got the mini one.
Brother-in-law's got a really loud one.
I've got like multiple, like I use like small Dell Optiplex, like
Oh.
70, and I put them
Yeah.
all in like a cluster and that sort of thing. And I have like a UNAS and like a Ubiquiti equipment. It's not that loud,
I see.
and it's pretty good on electricity too. Like I think I only draw 150 watts total. TDP. It's not bad.
Okay.
It'll only get worse from there though.
Is there any other way you could monitor a microwave? Anything as simple as like a light sensor up to the dot matrix in the corner? When it hits a 0? You know, there's smart cameras out there
Yeah.
that can interpret a number.
Yep, absolutely. NVIDIA Jetson. The Jetson Nano, I believe, is really good at image generation. Hook up a camera to it, and then, yeah, that would be kind of overkill, though. At this
Yeah, but
point,
at that
it'd be
point-
overkill.
If you have like 50 microwaves, so imagine the bill.
It'd be so overkill. It's like a whole, okay, these NVIDIA Jetson development boards are like $400, and you hook up a webcam to it and have it just like look at the display, and that's it. And then be like, oh yeah, the microwave's at 0 after you spend $400 on the sensor.
30 cents saved in electricity.
Pretty much like, oh, don't worry, I'll min-max eventually. Like, this is a good use of my money. Spend $400 now, and then I save 30 cents up to, take years. It take years. But yes, you can. Absolutely.
What about, let's say, if you had like 5 locations, like bakeries, and you want to monitor like bread stoves, you know, they hydrate the bread. They do the thing where the yeast activates. They just stick it in there and then they cook it. Could you just monitor? Would you have to monitor voltage at that point? Because isn't that constantly drawing power just to stay on?
The proofing stoves,
Yeah.
they're pretty moist. You could put a moisture sensor in there.
Would it survive? Like
Oh yeah, I'm sure you could get it, you know, more waterproof and just have the sensor sticking out because it's not too hot in the proofing like stoves or whatever they're called.
right.
This sounds like a conversation for Subway specifically.
Yeah, Subway, Jimmy John's. I worked at Jimmy John's.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Subway, call us.
Right.
Give you a good deal. So you would do a moisture sensor for the proofing. What do you think about for like the actual baking of the bread? Because those machines are often just connected.
For the actual baking of the bread, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could do like have a wire running in there that does the monitoring, and then have the monitoring equipment on the outside and
Like a coil. Like
the thermos, to check the temperature of the bread. You can stick it in the bread. You can stick it on the pan, measure like the aluminum pan, see what that does, get like a baseline, figure out what's best practice. I don't know. It depends on how people get pretty anal about their baking. So I feel like there's a lot of use cases for like getting the temperature and moisture of the bread just right.
I'm also imagining optimizing. You could have one person monitoring, or even just have the process up in the background and have someone designated to check it. And then he's like, oh, this oven's not giving a signal at all. Maybe it's done. Call for maintenance.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Such thing as a large scale baking like manufacturer, is that the right word for it? Like a large scale bakery where all they do is just bake bread and it's like billions of bread at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That would be a big
bakery
use case.
sweet shops and stuff like that.
Right. That'd be a huge use case then, definitely.
Imagining expanding a smaller store into a third or fourth location, and now you can just, without having to call, without having to consult with your managers, you'll just know. XI will tell you.
Right. I'm pretty sure all that stuff is old analog too. Like the tech is really dated, especially like old equipment that's like efficient, like old ovens and stuff like that. And trying to digitize that and make it so you can actually get metrics from it would be like actually pretty badass.
Right?
It'd be nice to do, measure different maintenance things. So you can tell like, oh, I think maybe the heating coil is like starting to go. You might want to replace it before you actually have downtime. Because if it is a huge operation, you don't want any downtime. So you want to be able to do kind of preventative maintenance right before it actually happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going into it and figuring out all these metrics.
Oh yeah, possible, definitely.
That's really cool now. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of different ways you can monitor old analog equipment too. Besides just the basic like sound, heat and all that.
Right, absolutely.
That's interesting.
It is actually kind of interesting.
Right? You didn't think there was much there, did you?
At first, when we were having this discussion, it was like you telling me how to monitor a microwave with XI. I'm like, man, who does? And now if we really sit here and talk about it, it actually kind of makes sense. Like,
Exactly.
wait a minute. If we're talking about, okay, not just a microwave, but like a larger format microwave or oven or appliance would make a lot of sense. Because people want metrics. People want to make sure that their one, stuff is running. Two, preventative maintenance. Three, how much usage, right? Like how much usage. These things all equate to business factors that, like, of course, large scale business is going to look for. Because they want to be able to save money, save time, maybe save energy. I don't know. It'd be nice.
Not in America, but
Maybe,
we
yeah,
sell
yeah,
globally.
please
We have
save
global
energy.
partners all over.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
But it'd be nice. And Nagios can do that.
Call us. What would you do with the interpolated data then? Would it just be charts in XI, overlaying graphs?
I mean, it really depends. It would be mostly charts at first, but if we wanted to get really granular with it, we could interpret the data to represent whatever you want. Make your custom dashlet basically from scratch, and like especially if you're doing the preventative maintenance thing, like I don't know, your chart would be kind of unoptimal for a UX UI experience.
Right.
But yeah, I'd make a custom dashlet. I mean,
What would it say? It'd be like your heater core is about to go nuclear or something like that.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, it would definitely say that, and then it would say the other things too.
It's about to. We don't know when.
It's about to.
Right? At some point in time, you should probably fix this. That would be funny as a next sign notification.
At some point, fix it.
At some point. Not very descriptive, just like a hint.
I should make a sticky note dashlet where it overlays on top of every other dashlet. We just write whatever the heck you want.
Yeah,
That'd be dope.
perfect.
I'll get Caleb on that.
Yeah,
I think Caleb definitely would definitely be down for that.
Wow, there's actual use case scenarios here. Dang, I'm proud of myself.
You write the script and you're like, oh, maybe, I don't know. We're probably like only going to get a couple minutes talking about this, but yeah, no. With like stuff like Arduinos, Raspberry Pis, stuff like this, like microcontrollers, you can definitely tap into that field. And it's just us developing the software that will talk to the Arduino that will grab the metrics from the sensors, because it's all ones and zeros. It's all on and off. We can get it. Once we just electrify it, and to some degree, if that's the right word, then we can monitor it. We just have to look for different system signals. That's about it.
Then there's so many different kinds of sensors. Like I said, I mean, I'm sure there's something for everything at this point. And if not, it'd be easy to make something that doesn't exist yet.
Tap into a resistor. I wouldn't open up a microwave. Don't open up a microwave. No, dude, don't do that.
I ain't playing with that.
Yeah, I did that when I was a kid. Yeah,
That explains a lot.
No, definitely don't do that. But there's a way, especially if you're smart, like a smarter one, right? That already has Android or something in there. I'm pretty sure you can grab metrics.
Same with fridges too, right?
Oh yeah, hook it up to the internet. Hook everything up to the internet.
Did you guys see the Silicon Valley episode about the smart fridge?
No.
Oh, yeah.
What happens?
No, they hack it.
What do they do? Like hack me some food? Come on now, in this economy.
Yeah, he gets pissed off because the smart fridge is talking to him, and so he tries to break in. It's got a big encryption, so he has to
What?
he's got to use a server and to crack it open. I don't know. Yeah.
What, did the fridge lock itself so he couldn't get food?
No, he just didn't like that it talked to him, so he wanted to modify it, but it wasn't his fridge.
Oh,
So then yeah.
like don't talk to me. I'm hungry.
Yeah. He got pissed off about it.
It's like, hello, sir. Would you like some pizza? No. Would you like an oven? No. Just let me get my food. It's kind of funny. Maybe we shouldn't like make things smart. Okay. Let me backtrack. For Nagios monitoring, great. Talking microwave, not so great.
Well, it'd email you.
Why do I? How far am I going to be away from my damn microwave for me to get an email that says, "Hey, buddy, your food is done"? How long? What was I microwaving kids' cuisine meal for like 10 minutes?
Yeah, if it was like it's just in there and it's beeping, for 2 minutes and you haven't come back, we could fire off an email. That'd be kind of nice.
You know that. You know what? To be honest with you, there's so many times where I have like pizza rolls, and like I said, I live in a studio apartment, and my microwave is just right behind me. And my ADHD brain is always tied to these screens, and I hear the beep go off numerous times, and I just get annoyed by it. I'm like, I'm the one that set it up, so like, why am I upset that it's going off? You know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense. So I don't know. I don't think an email would be better because then it just goes in your spam, and then you're like, oh well, microwave's done. Like, how do I have an email for it?
Can you make a custom dashlet that'll just like flash a big light on your screen?
That would be dope.
But microwave's done.
Yeah, that could be done.
And it gets louder and louder every like 10 seconds.
It gets bigger too.
Yeah, it consumes the screen.
Yeah.
It's just like a black hole that consumes the screen. Please take your stuff out of the microwave. Please take your stuff out of the microwave.
The X button to close it's moving around.
Oh, God, that's just annoying at that point. It'd be like more annoying. Like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And then they open the door, close the door, and the notification toast is still there, and they're like trying to fight with the mouse. Nah, I'll hard pass on that.
What about a toaster?
Monitoring a toaster?
Yeah.
For toast? It's the same thing that applies to the ovens and it's no different.
You just bing, like you said it, like 30 seconds is about when my toast pops. Mm-hmm. So now just email me my toast is done, please. I'm a busy businessman. I need to know.
So now it gets a little bit crazier because then we can start like talking about like fully automated bakeries, like fully like data center bakeries, like. We start getting into like AI notifications where it's like all like a manufacturing process, right?
Yeah, an email.
And then like we have like a dashboard, a main Nagios dashboard, and then we have a data center filled with like a whole bunch of bakeries and ovens, and they're just like have like I don't know like what is that thing called? Like those little like conveyor belt. Yeah, there we go. The conveyor belt, and the bread goes in there, toast, and then you can see like how much toast you toasted today. It's all toasters toast. A whole entire like automated process, like. For like cars or anything that's in manufacturing, like a microwave, oven, appliance, definitely will want to grab metrics for it. How much you're doing it, how much wattage it's using. If something's about to fail, let us know.
Statistics for quarterly, yearly review.
Right.
We use this much electricity. We can market that.
The moment you start automating processes is a good time to like grab metrics always.
That's another thing. Like if you control both sides of the process, monitoring and actually manufacturing, then you can just loop it back with like, the monitor sends an email. The email is interpreted by an AI of some description, and then that tells a machine to do something. Mm-hmm. And then boom, full automation for just all sorts of stuff.
Automating microwaves.
It's kind of scary. That's another thing. Remotely monitoring the appliances. Yeah, I mean, did I leave the oven off as you're like 8 miles down the highway already? Like, I'll just check XI. Boom.
Oh man, yeah, those thoughts at 3 a.m. Did I do that thing?
I thought
my oven on all the way going towards Duluth or something like that. Like you're already driving and you're like, did I leave the oven on?
I hope the house doesn't burn down tonight.
Panic.
I'm imagining like a more like literal like OCD. Like, did I flick the switches 3 times before I left? And you check XI. It's like, yeah, you did.
There you go. Yeah, you get your switch count down.
That's kind of funny. Like XI is just like, yeah, man, you actually have a problem, but like it's okay. We're here for you. Like.
I just Googled psychiatrist for you.
Right.
You want to talk about it?
And the psychiatrist could monitor and be like, you only did 2 times this time instead of 40. That's a real improvement.
Right, great job. Like,
Yeah.
you stopped it. And you're sitting there like, I need to make sure that my lights are on and off. And I don't know if I did it, but I gotta double check. I gotta triple check. And Nagios XI is like, no, wait, bro, you're good. Did I turn on Nagios XI?
Did I turn on and off?
Paradox. Paradox.
XI's like, yes, there were 18 failed login attempts. So toaster, you're saying it's possible? I can monitor my toast.
I'd imagine, yeah.
Is there a way to like monitor how crisp the toast is getting and then send a signal to stop?
Well,
the
you could
toaster?
use that camera that's,
$400
$400 camera.
doing NVIDIA
and-
Jetson, but like you would have to be like in the This is stupid at this point. Yeah, you could be like an AI, like an AI.
Yeah.
Right.
how charted it is, and say, oh,
You guys ever played a Steam game called I Am Bread?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's from forever
Is the
ago,
edibility goes down to like 0 or something? It'd be like the same kind of thing, but like an AI camera that's like trained on it that says how much edibility your bread actually has before it gets burnt.
I
that
like
would-
a burnt bread. I don't
That would
know.
be cool. So then you can set in like a preference.
Yeah,
So
that'd be
you
my
could
preference,
Like,
yeah.
What's your user bread or like user? How much consistency of bread? How much toast do you want? Right? Do you want a super brown or do you want a light?
How precise could that get? Like, what if I want an exact
Jeez, I wouldn't
shade?
even know. I wouldn't even know.
Well, could you do a thing where it's like untoasted bread all the way to charred bread and then just toast for different periods of time? Lay them out, set a grain or something, set a standard once it hits this shade of brown.
Yeah.
Like Subway, Jimmy John's, and all those people would have a better answer for that.
Well,
I should call them
Yeah, right.
right now.
Right, and be like, how much? Like, such an out-of-pocket question to ask.
see, if you have the data on XI, you can go and look at your instance of that bread and be like, I liked it. And then you're like, okay, it's in this range.
On the dashboard, a specific
Yeah.
dashboard for.
But you can
do
start
I like
adjusting your
bread?
thresholds
Oh, man.
on the dashboard and dial it in.
That would be so
That'd be
crazy.
perfect.
That'd be so crazy.
Pretty good. Like, rate your bread experience, and they're like, oh, I had a lot of clusters of 10-star bread right around the
Jesus,
30-second
dude.
Yeah,
mark.
that's where it's
man,
really
just
good.
Talking about this makes my anxiety go up.
Let's make a bread dash.
No.
Ethan would love it, right?
I could do that.
No.
Do it. It'd be funny.
Make bread dashlet.
Bread dash like coming to you.
Edibility 100%.
Coming soon
Edibility.
to a computer near you. Well, wow, there's a lot of practicality here. And any other ideas? Anything you can think of, applications for some sort of kitchen appliance? Tea kettle?
Oh God, yes. Oh,
Like an electric kettle?
Yeah, electric kettle. Because they take a long time
I see
to
Vadim over there lining up.
heat up.
He's lining up.
Tea kettles take a long time.
T-boys, yeah.
Yeah, you want to know when it's. You don't want to get up and like check it and then it's not ready yet, and they don't usually beep. So it'd be pretty nice.
How would you know when it's boiling then? So would you put like some sort of steam sensor for when it's leaking?
You could do that. They'd usually the kettles usually shut off. Like they have a certain number of resistors running, and then they kind of like they'll either step down to like if they had a bunch, they just have one going to kind of maintain, or they just shut off until it drops a couple degrees and bumps up. So you just monitor either of those patterns, and when that hits, So it's like the volt thing again. You just do the volt thing.
That's pretty freaking cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Dang, get an email. Time to eat your oatmeal. You got hot water
Why
now.
would you get an email? Just get like a Slack notification or a notification on your phone. Hey, your tea's ready. Like, my tea's ready. Running all the way upstairs.
What's the cheapest way you would do that then? Because what, the Arduino was it? Or the Raspberry?
You know, Arduino, no, Raspberry Pi is not, it's more like a computer for like servers.
Okay,
Now, Arduino would be more of
folded.
like a, what is that called? A microcontroller. That's what I'm looking for. Like a little Arduino Uno or something. Send like a little Python script to it. Have it hooked up to like a simple, I don't know, sensor that measures water levels or something. Hook it up to like a net, so when like the water is boiling, it'll go. The steam will go up to that sensor, and then it'll be like, oh, this is the hydrogen level, or how much O2. You know, like the Bamboo Labs 3D printer have the AMS where they have the little how much water is in the actual like thing. I forgot what that's called, but it would be something like this, right? And then you would send that signal out, and then you can have that connect up to Nagios, put NCPA on there or so, and then you could be able to monitor the consistency and then be able to make a chart for it.
Would it cost a lot to get one of those?
Oh, couple bucks, like
Really?
$10 or so. I don't know about the sensors. The sensors probably like a couple of bucks too.
Probably like 10, 20.
Right, but you have to build it yourself.
So the actual thing, the microcontroller is pretty cheap.
Yeah, very cheap.
That's insane.
Very, very cheap.
Dang.
It depends on how much RAM you want. Like if you're sending a lot of signals out and stuff, and it just using a lot of data, and whatever that signal, the amount of signal it is that's going into the microcontroller is going to need X amount of RAM or certain amount of compute. But I'm pretty sure it's marginal, and so it'd be like super cheap for a little Arduino Uno or something like that.
I always thought like that kind of stuff would be expensive, but it's interesting to hear that it's not.
Nope, super cheap.
Why aren't you, viewer, monitoring your microwave?
Oh no,
We haven't made an out of the box solution yet,
well, maybe
but
just
we'll get one.
people just like when you're hungry, man. Don't you just like hover over the microwave and just hurry up?
3 minutes though.
No, a watch pot never boils, so I don't.
I like
Okay,
meal
you got a
prep.
point. You got a point.
I meal prep, and it's always like I hit the reheat button. It's 3 minutes on kind of lower wattage, and I just take a shower whenever after the gym or do something, and then by the time I'm back,
I guess the question is more of like a consumer or an enterprise, right? For us as like people, we're gonna hover over our food and be like, "When are you done?"
Yeah.
For like an enterprise, we're gonna like, "How do I automate this process so I can like microwave or oven like 500 breads at once and just?"
yeah.
So then you would want to be like away from it, completely autonomous. Then that's where our idea of monitoring comes into play
Yeah.
significantly.
Oh yeah, that just turns everything remote. Now you have one computer, one network, interpreting everything.
Just a giant oven data center.
If you have like multiple locations across the world, like one in Europe, one in Asia, one in North America, you could then get what? Fusion?
Oh no, XI can handle that.
Actually,
by itself?
I actually
Yeah.
wonder if like Subway or Jimmy John's has something like that in play, where they're like monitoring all their appliances on all their locations.
Get on that, salespeople. Call them. Just every brick and mortar location.
I'm
like-
sure with manufacturing scaled, there's definitely use
Maybe,
cases like right
maybe
now.
not. I don't know. Maybe they just have a timer. It's all analog because I haven't seen anything crazy.
What amazes me about XI and like the Nagios suite is how versatile the program is. If you can, like, if you can get a signal, you can monitor it in any way, and you literally can do basically anything. It's insane.
I wonder why companies are capitalizing on that because if it really follows their bottom line, right? Then these metrics mean a lot. And I don't know if it would be considered wasteful or it would be considered beneficial. I mean, it's going to be considered wasteful not to like monitor this, right?
Right.
So I'm wondering, like we've discussed, has Subway, has Jimmy John's, has any of these large food, companies even gotten metrics for their ovens or anything like that, or microwaves or stuff like that? Are they even monitoring in that? Are they even caring, about the bottom line? How much electricity? Are they just looking at what their Excel provider or whatever for that specific location? They're just like, oh, okay, that's fine enough,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know.
If they're just the electric companies averaging everything.
But they're usually like large scale ovens that have like timers on them. So
We need like an icebreaker, like as soon as it's a copycat industry, all these industries are. So like as soon as someone starts monitoring it, like, oh, we saved $10,000 across all our stores.
Yeah.
Like,
The minute they know they can save a lot of money with this process, they're going to go all in.
yeah.
especially in this economy, what you mean? We gotta save money around here. Can you believe ground beef was $10? Sorry to add that. That was just like, really, dude. I spent $10 on ground beef. This world's not getting cheaper. So use Nagios XI, monitor your shit, and save a lot of money.
Anything else you guys want to discuss on the topic of monitoring kitchen appliances and from consumer or enterprise levels?
What's the KitchenAid mixers, that people do?
Though, like the things.
Yeah.
They go, "What?"
Yeah, with the dough, you're baking. I'd be curious, to monitor that.
How would you monitor something like that? Because it doesn't necessarily have any electronics on board besides just motors and basic circuitry.
I think you'd want to monitor, how many revolutions that thing does, because you don't want too much air, or sometimes you want more air in it. Want to make sure that it's dialed in correctly.
Okay, so every time it makes a full trip, toggle.
You could also, when we're talking about motors, if it's like spinning and there's dough in there and it's spinning around, you know that dough has like a consistency level, and that means that it's getting resistance to the motor, and you can measure that.
Yeah.
You know? So that might be one way.
Yeah. Measure the temperature. You don't want it to heat up.
That too.
Another great thing is we're not talking about building new appliances. We're just modifying old ones. So, I mean, hypothetically, anyone could do something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, with enough tech know-how or like a comprehensive guide of some description. That's interesting. I mean, the whole kitchen area, every appliance has its own little mini challenges. It's interesting.
You know, they actually had a subscription service, so I forgot who did it, but I heard on a different podcast or YouTube video that somebody, I'm not going to name names, somebody had like a subscription service with a kitchen appliance, and then if you didn't pay for it, it just wouldn't work.
It's like what BMW did.
Pretty much with the heated seats, yep.
I remember I saw a headline. It's like, your BMW is going to drive back to the lot if you miss a bit.
It's going to drive itself.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. What other appliances? So we got microwaves, stoves, freezers?
We had tea, freezers, yeah.
A freezer would be really good because what if you leave for like the weekend, going to a cabin or something or a trip, and you're like, well, what
Now
if the
you're
freezer
talking.
dies?
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Now
Or
you're
your meat
talking.
spoils?
KFC, those walk-in freezers. I used to
Yeah.
work at KFC.
Yeah.
And they have like those giant walk-in freezers, right? What happens if all the chicken goes bye-bye?
Exactly.
It's got to be a lot of money.
Well, I mean, they have something on the wall, but it's usually like an analog thing.
Oh, yeah. You want
Just
to be able to monitor it remotely. And that's the whole point.
Pretty sure there's a company that is monitoring that.
Oh, okay.
Or something. Or there's some kind of timer on there where if it goes down, maybe you'd be able to see it. I'm not sure. I never got up to management level. I was just, I was just, baking the chicken. I wasn't important at all. So I'm pretty sure there is something in place. Maybe, I don't know. If there's not, we got your back.
That's crazy. I mean, even that would just be what? A thermometer of some description.
Thermometer,
If
then
it hits
hook it up,
certain-
NCPA, Arduino, boom.
Get it on the way when it's like getting warmer. You don't even have to wait till it's like
Yeah.
or whatever.
You're going to measure temperature variations.
Yeah. And pretty consistent passive checks every 10, 20 minutes. You don't even have to overload your emails or anything.
Easy.
Yeah.
Super easy.
That's really interesting because then one person could theoretically remotely monitor every location.
Yep.
And if they get one red flag, it's like, oh, call maintenance, send them out.
Sounds like KFC, Subway, and all these companies need to reach out and let them know your boys got you covered when it comes to monitoring all your chicken and your bread and all your, what is it, consumables? I don't know. Perishables. Yeah. You got your consumables, perishables, same thing. No, it's not.
Dang. Like I said, there's lots of different kinds of sensors, lots of different ways to approach a problem. I'm assuming like a commercial industry would want the cheapest solution, which just sounds like that microcontroller. Mm-hmm. That's crazy though.
Super cheap.
How much supplies out there? Is it rare materials or anything?
What, for the microcontrollers?
Yeah.
No, they're a dime a dozen. You can go down to Micro Center and pick up like 20 of them.
Copper.
Yeah,
nickel.
easy. Super easy. Not that expensive. Well, there might be a shortage. I don't know if Arduinos, because they're like microcontrollers, but like Raspberry Pis, there was a shortage around the pandemic, of course, where you couldn't get them and they upcharged the price. Like, I know the Raspberry Pi CM4 compute module you can't get. But like the CM5 is available now because, our current state in the world makes it hard for us to get certain things. Like NVIDIA Jetson's development board, the $400 one I was talking about, a little bit harder to get now because it's like an AI computer. Everybody wants AI now.
Right.
But like Arduinos have been around since my early Radio Shack days, so there you can get them. Or not only that, but they have like Chinese knockoffs so that you can get where it's not exactly Arduino branded, but it uses the same components.
Basically the same thing.
Very, very cheap, very affordable. So yeah, you can sensor everything or monitor everything.
Sensor everything.
Yeah. So put a sensor on. You know where I'm going at.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, sensor everything. Actually, sensor everything.
Mosaic, put like a pixel filter. Let's just blur your face like, we've been censored. Very interesting. It's going to be cheap until everyone starts using this to monitor every bakery in the United States, and now supply's down because demand is up.
Oh, look what we've gone and done. We've destroyed the industry.
You're
There you
welcome.
go. Make money while you can. That's all I'm saying.
That was all his doing. Nothing to do.
That's actually my evil plan. Actually, like all part of my plan. Let's go. Min max.
You're one of the
Let's go.
scalpers. You got
No, I'm not the
hundreds
scalper.
of
I'm
these
not the
things in
scalper.
your,
No, I'm not a
in your
scalper.
studio.
I'm just here giving people the right information so they can min max their. Oh man, now that sounds awful.
Sure.
Now that sounds awful. Oh, that's okay. I can live with that. We don't need technology anyways.
Well, not at XI.
No, we need XI for sure.
Everyone needs that.
I'm not saying that because I work here, but we need XI.
Okay, I think we've had a great discussion about monitoring a microwave, monitoring a kitchen. Thank you both for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks.
it. And from everyone here at Nagios, happy monitoring.